Good evening. Merry Christmas Eve. And thanks to the Brass Valley Five for the music beforehand. A treat. And you get to join them. We're gonna start with singing the first Noel. I invite you to rise in body or in spirit and to hold on to your hats and sing. The first Noel, the angel did say, was to certain poor shepherds in fields as they lay, in fields where they lay keeping their sheep on a cold winter's night that was so deep. Noel, 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 born is the King of Israel. They looked up and saw a star shining in the east beyond them far, and to the earth it gave great light, and so both day and night. Noel, 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 born is the King of Israel, and by the light of that same star, three magi came from country far to seek a king was their intent, and to follow the star wherever Noel, 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 born is the King of Israel. Thank you.
Wow, nothing like a brass quintet, right? Merry Christmas! I'm Lindsay Dunkel, and I'm delighted to be the worship associate for this evening's special night at the Unitarian Universalist Community of the Mountains. Welcome, one and all. As we settle into our time of reflection and music, won't you please take a moment to silence your cell phones? We make of this a holy place by our being here together, by setting aside this special time. I invite us all to celebrate connections new and old by taking a moment to greet those around us and offer the blessings of the season. Won't you please greet one another?
We are committed to being in right relations with the Nisenan, the indigenous people of this land, who are still among us today. These black oak acorns are a symbol of our commitment.
As we prepare to light the chalice, and thank you, Susan, for the land acknowledgement. As we prepare to light the chalice, which is a symbol of this Unitarian Universalist tradition, a tradition which leaves a lot of room for differing beliefs, let's check the Christmas temperature in the room. So, who is loving Christmas this year? Thank you. Who is liking Christmas well enough? Who's kind of 50-50 about Christmas this year? Yeah. Who's feeling a bit put off by Christmas this year and would prefer to focus on something else? You would think, except sometimes they come with other people. And who's feeling full out bah humbug this year and would just assume do without Christmas altogether if you could? Yeah. And here we are together in the same space and Zoom and in this room on a Christmas Eve. It's a Christmas miracle. Thank you for your willingness to self-identify. I think it's always important to know that there's a whole range of feelings when we walk into a room together, right? A whole differing set of expectations. And I've tried to start out playfully, in part because Christmas carries a lot of weight, right? Whether we choose it to or not. Different kinds of weight and different layers, there are different messages and meanings that people bring to it. For some of us in this room tonight, this ancient story of a holy child's birth in Bethlehem long ago holds a very concrete and welcome truth about divine love and care. For some of us in this room tonight, the story of shepherds and angels and kings is best understood as a story beyond time, whose truths can best be accessed if we begin with the spirit of once upon a time, and if we use the superpower of our inner translator. For some in this room tonight, it's purely the threads of human connection that make this holiday important. And maybe the food, and maybe the gifts. Knowing that this room and our hearts are large enough to hold that whole range of truths together, we light our chalice with the prayer offered by Carter Smith. Spirit of life, breath of life, on this night, may we bear witness to the guiding lights, the lights in the sky that call us to gather, to give of ourselves, to celebrate new life. May we receive and offer good tidings, the news that life and its seasons go on, that tyrannical rulers do not have the final word, and that despair is not everlasting. May our senses be awakened to delight in the gifts of fragrance and warmth, to savor the feasts before us, and to revel in the feelings of laughter and embraces. May we breathe deeply as we sit with the quiet stillness of these short days. May our hearts beat a rhythm of gladness as we lift our voices to proclaim the joy of this season. In the stillness, in the gladness, in the joy, in all that we're holding, may it be so. In other words, amen. I invite us to sing once more, to rise and sing, to rise while you have the chance in body or in spirit. Angels we have heard on high. Please join in. Angels we have heard on high. That's the way to do Angels We Have Heard on High. Thank you. Every year, Christmas comes in the midst of a whole lot of other stuff. Maybe especially this year, true? A whole lot of other stuff. Some of it flickering or burning very close in, very personally. Some of it swirling nearby in people we know and maybe love. And some of it crying, wailing from halfway around this spinning globe, yet also very near to our hearts. Whether we love the story of an extraordinary baby born in the midst of the most humble setting possible, or whether this story with angels and startled and astonished shepherds doesn't matter that much to us, or whether this story with wise ones following a star, likely against their spouse's better judgment, whether the story chafes against our humanist sensibilities, here we are together, steeped in the story, all of us, if for no other reason than by virtue of the Christmas carols that we can scarce avoid, right? Most everywhere. Also by the school and the work schedules that accommodate it, and by the rituals and traditions that guide us or people we love. So in our Unitarian Universalist tradition, we often choose to go looking for meaning in the story in the ways that we can, even while our religious beliefs go in many different directions. When we're trying to understand our nighttime dreams, I've been having a lot of dreams this week. I don't usually remember them. This week I do. One of the suggestions is to realize that we are every character in our dream. It's not just us and others. We are every character in our dream, even the scary characters, even the characters that are giving us grief. It's a great way to go exploring who we are. In a similar way, one way people go looking for meaning in a story is to place themselves in the story, to ask in what way they or are like those characters in some way, seen or unseen characters. In the case of the Christmas story, for example, to ask, how am I in my life right now, that young unwed mother about to give birth to something vital and important, forced in the middle of everything to journey away from everyone and everything I know, refused shelter again and again, needing to make the best of giving birth where I didn't expect and I wouldn't choose? Or how am I a shepherd, minding my life day to day when something shocks and rocks the sky? Something both frightening and exciting and reassuring, all mixed together, which leaves me sore afraid in some way, and also a bit curious. Or how am I in my life right now, a wise one who has caught a glimmer of a possibility out of the corner of my eye where I had never seen it before, and which is in a way I don't completely understand, calling me toward it, as if it's going to have an answer for me of some kind? Or how am I Joseph, or the donkey, or Herod, or the innkeeper? Or how am I one of those innkeepers who turned this young couple away? Or, using imagination, how am I the child of one of those innkeepers who overheard the conversation and saw the couple through the crack in the door, surprised that no help was offered? In the Catholic tradition of my childhood, this practice is known by some as Ignatian contemplation, because Saint Ignatius encouraged people to use their imagination in prayer. The idea is to place yourself in a passage from a story as one of the characters or as an observer, and then to imagine as fully as possible the smells, the sights, the sounds, the moods, responses, the feelings of oneself and those around. The idea is to lose yourself in the story. That's the invitation, not worrying about where it goes or whether it fits the story as it's been told so far, and then see where it takes you. See what surfaces in you, see what it reveals to you about you. Or for some of us, what it reveals about what God or Spirit is trying to say to you. So I invite you to take just a moment to consider, who might you be this year in the Christmas story, knowing that you are all the characters in the story, named and unnamed. What role resonates somehow with what's going on in your life, with who you are, with how you're finding your way? Or which character doesn't resonate at all and so might be worth exploring? Anybody have any thoughts for what that might be for you? Anybody willing to say? Who might you be this year? Anybody? The donkey. Carrying some others, following along, being there for the whole thing. The shepherd, out living life. Something startles, something calls. The mean innkeeper. I have been, those who know me, I've been using the imagery of pregnancy all fall, so I'm very much the young unwed mother about to give birth to something. This week, a friend sent me his reflection that was published in the Black Catholic Messenger. He was applying Ignatian contemplation to the war in Gaza, imagining himself as fully as possible in that scene, in that story. In Palestine, not just today, but over decades and over centuries. There in the heart of the world that holds Nazareth and Bethlehem, which is just 45 miles northeast of Gaza City. I know that those of you with especially strong empathy already place yourself in that story. Place yourself in Israel too. Place yourself in Ukraine and Uganda and Hungary, in the places where you recognize suffering and cannot help but feel it in some way. I learned recently that at the time Jesus was born, that part of the world experienced a particularly violent period, a time of bloody religious and political terror, both before and after the death of Herod. Yes, King Herod, named in the Christmas story. One of the towns attacked and burned to the ground, its people enslaved, was the town of Sepphoris, just 4 miles away at that very same time, according to scholars, from a young couple who we know as Mary and Joseph, preparing for a baby. That's the world they were giving birth in. Now, I'm not meaning this to be a Christmas downer. This is to say that the arrival of a story of hope in the most tragic and impossibly difficult of times, the need to know that hope can be born where we cannot imagine how there could possibly be any room for it. The importance of hearing that hope can spark in the most improbable and unexpected people and times and places. This is a story outside of time. It is again and again the human story, lived and told innumerable times before us, and sure to be lived and told time and time again long after us. It is also our story. It's our story in the midst of Gaza and Israel and pandemic and Ukraine and Uganda and Hungary. This need to know, this need to remind each other that hope can be born no matter what. This is our story. Born no matter what, truly. This need to remember that hope is ours to birth, fearful and tired though we may be, ours to pick up and swaddle and nurture and carry into this always broken and beautiful world, into this tangled blessing we call life. I find this comforting, this shared experience across time and humanity, I am not the first nor the last. Neither is anyone else in the world. I find this comforting, not in a merry Christmas way, but in a quieter, deeper Christmas way. The Christmas Eve reflection that matters tonight is not my reflection, well, except for me. The Christmas Eve reflection that matters tonight, most, I say, for you, is your own reflection. Whether you find ways to place yourself in the Christmas story or in any of the rest of the human story. To have any chance of going there, it will help to settle into some quiet calm for a moment. So I invite us to do that. I invite the choir to come on up, take a comfortable, settled, standing place here. And I invite all of us just to notice that you are already breathing. If it helps you to unwind your body a little bit, feel free. Notice that you are breathing and what that breathing right now feels like. Notice what you hear in the room, in your body, outside the building. What do you hear? What do you see wherever you happen to be looking at this moment? Even if your eyes are closed, what do you see right now? What do you smell, if anything? What taste still lingers in your mouth? What do you feel on your skin, the way your clothing feels on you, or your seat on the chair? Where are your feet? I invite you to notice if you have feeling in your feet, where they are and what they feel like. Maybe move them a little. And let your attention follow up your legs, knees, to your waist, to your hips. Notice what's there. To your low belly, that anchor point. Let your attention travel up to your heart. What's there? Is it warm? Is it cold? Is it at ease? Is it sharp? What about your throat? If you go a little farther up to your throat, what do you notice there? Any color? Any heaviness or lightness? What about in your head? What does it feel like physically in your head right now? And if you went all the way up to the crown, the very top, what does it feel like there right now? And did you notice that you're still breathing? Still breathing? Still breathing? Who are you in the story that comes most readily to mind and heart? Let your imagination take you where you need to go. In the shared, quiet darkness of this winter night. Where are you in relation to the birth of hope in your life? the wisdom of Victoria Safford. Now is the moment of magic, when the whole round earth turns again toward the sun. And here's a blessing. The days will be longer and brighter now, even before the winter settles in to chill us. Now is the moment of magic, when people beaten down and broken with nothing left but misery and candles and their own clear voices kindle tiny lights and whisper secret music. And here's a blessing. The dark universe is suddenly illuminated by the lights of the menorah, suddenly ablaze with the lights of the Kwanzaa Kinara, and the whole world is glad and loud with winter singing. Now is the moment of magic, when an eastern star beckons the ignorant toward an unknown goal. And here's a blessing. They find nothing in the end but an ordinary baby, born at midnight, born in poverty. And the baby's cry, like bells ringing, makes people wonder as they wander through their lives what human love might really look like, sound like, feel like. Now is the moment of magic, and here's a blessing. We already possess all the gifts we need. We've already received our presents: ears to hear music, eyes to behold lights, hands to build true peace on earth, and to hold each other tight in love.
Oh, come, all ye faithful, to hear this story, this well-known, well-trod, used, rusted, distrusted, dull, aching, do we have to hear it again story? Help us to hear this story anew on this particular Christmas Eve. This Christmas Eve, unlike any we have ever known before, unlike any we have known before.
Mary, the mother of Jesus.
The mother of a child of God.
The unwed mother of God, no more than 16.
An unwed outcast.
Who said yes? Who said yes?
Yes to the angel. To the angel? To the angel that promised that something would come of nothing.
Who said yes to the child growing within.
Yes to the journey across the desert, full, bloated belly and all.
To give birth in an unknown land to an unknown
Child of God.
She said yes.
a prophet, unshrinking, witnessing.
Waiting for a miracle.
Mary, Mary the mother.
Heralding a new creation.
O holy night.
where the unwed mother, where the unwed mother is the mother of God.
Joseph, the father of Jesus.
The silent partner.
Yeah, imagine that.
With questions, okay, with questions, but also with faith.
Who said yes?
Yes to the child. Yes to the unwed mother. Yes to the angel. Yes to the angel? The angel that promised that something would come of nothing.
Yes to scandal. Yes to risk.
Yes to confronting his own jealousy and fear.
Yes to the child that was not his own. Yes to the child of God.
Child of God, you say?
I say,
I say, when I am speaking about Jesus, when I am speaking about my children, when I am speaking about you and me,
I say, child of God,
when I'm speaking about the ones on the margins.
the disrespected, the distance between you and I. To bridge that distance, I say, child of God.
Child of God.
And the shepherds. Don't forget the shepherds.
The first to bear witness.
Those followers of stars.
Praising and thanking this holy night for what they had seen, for what they had heard.
shepherds, protectors of the vulnerable,
Finding green pastures in a desert for their sheep.
In a desert. Finding green pastures in a desert.
and holiness in a star,
And promise in a story
Promise in what they were told.
on a dark night.
finding promise in what they were told, that a child born in the dust might just save this hurting world. And they left. The shepherds, they left their sheep,
For a star.
For the child of an unwed mother.
born in the dust of a stable.
Because there was no room at the inn.
Shepherds would dig that.
Yeah, wanders in the darkness.
They would dig the story of Mary and Joseph and Jesus, alone, unwelcome, unsafe.
Yep, the shepherds would dig that, and they would follow.
Shepherds, seekers in the desert, with a green pasture on their mind.
And angels.
Angels.
The angels that came to the shepherds, saying,
To you,
to you,
to you is born a Savior. To you.
Wait. Angels we have heard on high. Are you telling me that a babe was born to an unwed mother some millennia ago on a dark night in a dusty room with a dirt floor? And this is the miracle that the angels sung about, the miracle that would bring light to the world, passed through lowly shepherds, that this is the miracle we still yearn to sing about on gatherings just like this? Silent nights, holy nights, and come all ye faithful, joy to the world, and more?
I might have been looking for a little bit more.
It's as if the angels are telling us, like this story is telling us, that something was born from nothing.
Well, that's not physically possible.
A miracle from the dust.
A holy night from a dark night, where there was no room at the inn.
A child of God from a scandal.
It's as if something was born from nothing.
A holy night from a dark night.
Where there was no room at the inn.
It's as if something was born from nothing.
Mary.
Joseph.
Shepherds.
Angels.
Children.
Scared.
On a dark night.
Children.
All.
Children of God.
Rejected, reviled, scandalized. No room for you, not for you at the inn.
children of God,
O come, all ye faithful,
all who know that this holiness burns within,
Within the rejected, reviled, the scandalized,
in you,
in you,
with you,
on this dark night.
amidst a divided nation, a war in Ukraine, inhumanity in Palestine and Israel,
silent night, silent in all the wrong and right ways,
Holy,
with you,
to you,
holy,
holy.
where something was born of nothing, and may, and may, and may be again.
Thank you. Each Christmas Eve, our offering supports the minister's discretionary fund, which is a fund used by me throughout the year to help people in need. This past year, your gifts have helped people whose homes were damaged by last winter's storms. You helped many people to get a meal and some groceries, a bit of gasoline for their cars, some toiletries. You eased the burden of someone's rent just long enough to help them get back on track. You helped someone get back to their family and so to their support a couple states away, complete with some food provisions for the bus ride and the journey. You helped someone get a phone to enable their ability to work and earn an income. You helped someone to get out of an unsafe home. An article about interfaith food ministry appeared in the Union this week, noting that the need for food support is greater than ever, even as donations are down. I know that there will be many people, some from this congregation, some who simply find their way to this door, who will be glad and grateful and well served by any gifts that you give this evening. Thank you for all the ways that you give aid and support to others, including this one. We'll pass the baskets in a moment, and their slide will show some other ways to give if you choose. my favorite Christmas melodies. Thank you. Thank you, truly, thank you for your generosity. I invite us all together to dedicate these gifts from you, our Christmas Eve giving, to the wholeness, to the health, to the well-being of all who come searching for room. So may it be.
So many gratitudes. It takes so many people to say yes, 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 to put together a service like this. Thank you to all of our marvelous brass players who said yes. Thank you to Toby, to the choir. Thank you to our readers. Thank you to those in the back on Christmas Eve making magic with sound and video. And thank you to Shanti for our setting. And thank you to Lynn for saying yes to being a greeter, even though she'd never done it before.
So the tradition of passing the light during Silent Night. So just to help us be ready as we pass the light, here's the wisdom gleaned over the ages. Once your candle is lit, I invite you to keep it upright. So someone whose candle is unlit, you can come to that candle and get your light. But once your candle's lit, I invite you to keep it this way. Is that making sense? Yeah. It's a simple instruction. And I invite you to rise for this. So you have as much mobility in body or in spirit as you're able. And we'll lower the lights in a moment and pass the light and sing. Silent night, holy night, all is calm, all is bright, round yon virgin mother and child, holy infant so tender and mild, sleep in heavenly peace, sleep in heavenly peace. Silent night, holy night, shepherds quake at the sight, glory stream from heaven afar, heavenly hosts sing hallelujah, sleep in heavenly peace, sleep in heavenly peace. Silent night, holy night, child of God, Hang out for the lights for a moment, although it's a little late now. Breathe in this moment. Draw inside you the warmth of flame and heart, memory and spirit. Breathe in the circle of love, faces here and elsewhere, the stories, the lives across this room. Draw inside you the comfort, companionship, and the challenge of this shared journey. Breathe in the family of humanity and all life. Draw inside you the threads that link you around this earth to all who live, to all of life. Breathe in this universe of extraordinary, amazing, improbable existence. Draw inside you the vastness of the star-filled heavens. Breathe in the intimate story of a baby, and longing, and love. Breathe in this moment. And as we breathe outward to extinguish our candles, may our hearts remain full, and may our candles remain upright for a little bit longer while the wax hardens. And now for some light. We close with the Christmas Blessing by Mary Geer. The story tells of a woman heavy with child, traveling with her partner to be counted in a census declared by a distant ruler, unaware of the lives disrupted or the life that is to come.
May those in power open their minds and hearts to the impact of their actions on others, and especially those who are unseen and unprotected.
The story tells of too many people and not enough housing, so that the couple shelters in a stable with the animals.
May we know that there can be enough housing for all, housing that offers comfort, warmth, and home.
The story tells of a baby born on a cold night, the birthing cries unrecorded, perhaps unheard, a child swaddled, loved, and warmed by his parents and the animals in the stable.
May the cries of all mothers be heard, and may all children born into this world be welcomed, warmed, and loved.
The story tells of a star bright in the night sky, heralding a message of new life, pointing the way to light, toward hope.
May we have glimpses of the stars on these long, dark nights, and may we see in the starlight a message of light, of life, of hope.
May this, all of this, be so. Blessings to you this Christmas Eve night, this holiday season, this turn into the new year. I invite us to share good words with each other. These words we say each week in this congregation to remind each other that we're not alone. We call it a community benediction. So even though we have extinguished our lights and will extinguish our chalice, let's together carry the flame of peace and love until we meet again. Please join in refreshments. There's hot cider and some goodies right in the entryway here, and we'll see you soon. Merry Christmas, everyone.